Happy Saturday Sip and Draw, and welcome to Alf. How rad is he? I know, he's kind of ugly, he's kind of weird, but he's always been one of my favorites, so let's go for it. So Alf, it was a show in the 80s. I was a big fan. Yeah, I loved this show. So I'm not going to show you any pre-drawing. We're just going to get started and get going on this. When these aren't live, it's a little bit weirder because I don't know, we can't really do trivia. I don't really have a way to interact with you guys that way. The drinking word, I'd say maybe anytime I say Alf or alien, if you want to do that, or just come up with one on your own if you're drinking and drawing with some friends. So yeah, let's just get going. So for Alf, I'm going to start with a curved line for the top of his head. We're mostly going to concentrate on his face, but we're going to add a little something in. Now, on the sides of the face, we can curve inward a bit. Do this on both sides. And then we're going to bring these out and around. So he has kind of a more pronounced cheek area. Come back in. Do the same on this side. Out. And back in. And now the nose. The nose is, this like long nose. So the way we're going to kind of capture that is we're going to draw a curved line that comes up into this space and back around. And then you can take these sides and curve them in slightly. Okay, so that's one. We're going to do this again, coming even a little bit further down. Curving around. Again, it went a little bit further down. And bring this side in. And now it's almost like a pig snout. It's going to find your center point. You can even do a little faint line if that helps you. And you're going to come up and around. It's like you're making a heart without the point at the bottom. And that's going to give you kind of that tapered nose appearance. And we're going to do 2 nostrils, which are going to be quite large ovals, 1 on each side. Again, that kind of pig snout appearance is what you end up with. For the eyes, I'm going to do 2 curved lines in and out on Alf. And then 1 on this side. They're not going to touch. There's going to be some room in the middle. Let's match those up a little bit better. Now from the top of this not all the way at the top, but just a little bit down. Do a line going out. Same on the other side. And then you can do a curved line just a little bit in from the tip of this curve that comes back into this line here at the bottom. I have two, but the first one was a mistake, remember, and then I fixed it. In fact, I'm gonna make a little slight change to this eye shape too. And we do that sometimes, right? We kind of put the shape in and then we realize either we don't really like the way it came out or it's not matching up right with the other side. So you're just making those adjustments. Now his inner eye is going to take up most of this space. I'm going to do a little bit of a line here in the corner. So see this tiny little triangle here? This is what's going to end up white. Let's do a little one in this corner. And then we're going to do a little one along the edge. And I'm actually going to go ahead and erase these kind of mistake lines so that way I can really kind of pay attention to which lines I'm going to keep. Sometimes that happens. You'll get too many lines going on and you'll need to just kind of erase. So I'll put that back in. And now I'm going to do a line that comes just along the edge, following this shape up to the top. So see, this whole portion is going to be black, except for two circles of light. He's really quite ugly, isn't he? It's not an attractive character to draw. Again, curving the edge of that eye. Two circles of light. I'm going to put them about in the same spot. Oops. Okay. Now his ears, we'll put those in next. We're going to come from above the head and we're going to come out, curve in. It's like a standard ear shape, right? Like it looks like the ear on a human also. And let's try to do that on the other side. It's always that other side. Trying to match them up as much as you can. Well, it's pretty good. And then I'll draw an outer edge to the ear up here. An outer edge also on this side. I'll draw a lower edge, but it's going to start not all the way around. It'll start in this lower section and come down. Start in this lower section and come down. And now Alf really had these very furry eyebrows. So I'm going to put those just kind of up here above his eyes. I want to keep these curves here. So I want them to be above that. I want there to be some space. And you can kind of come out into the ear. And then just come up. And you can just do kind of a bushy in, out, in, out. up this bushy, in, out, zigzag. And I'm not making that too perfect. That will end up just being colored in black. And now his hair, he had the perfect side swept bangs. So we're going to come up from it within the lashes. And again, I'm not too worried about that right now because the lashes will end up going on the top, but I can draw right over that. And I'm going to come up and kind of wave this around and have it, in fact, I'm going to make that even higher. And this is going to come down into his ear. And I'm just going to do some little kind of fringy look for bangs. I'll do this more with a little bit with my pencil, or I'm sorry, a little bit with my pen, and then more so with my pencil. Just kind of making this swoopy side swept bang. I want to give him a mouth. So from just above, just on the outside of this piece of the nose, which I actually want to fix that shape a little bit so it matches the other side. Right about where that starts, I'm just going to put a line that curves down and comes into the bottom of the nose. And you can do some little teeth inside there, kind of a slightly curved triangle. His teeth weren't too especially pointy. Do one over here. I think that's it. I don't want to show the ones on the top. We're gonna have more hair. I'm just gonna do these, like, sometimes when you're doing hair, you don't have to do this hard line and then put the hair in. What you can do is just do these like little like sketch lines. So you're kind of putting in the shape of what you want the hair to be. So he would have some hair kind of coming down from back behind his mouth. It would kind of come into this little beardish point down here at the bottom. He's going to have some that's kind of wisps from the sides of his face. And I'll do those better when I'm in my pen and pencil. Again, I'm just kind of giving myself a rough sketch. Let's put a shoulder in. Now, Alf commonly would wear shirts. He'd have a Hawaiian shirt in. I'm just going to do him in his furry body status. You can see on my little hand puppet, he's wearing a Born to Rock. So you could even put that, give him like a, in fact, let's go ahead and do that. So when I do the arms, they'll end up kind of furry, but I'm going to put a cut line right here as if that's the tank top. But I'm going to do something on this side, which is why I wasn't super concerned about what he was in, what he was wearing. So over here on the side, I'm going to start with a line that curves up like so. Now let's bring this out a little bit further and bring it back around. On this right about center, I'm going to do a triangle. Up and back down. And bring this back like that. If you know Alf, you know what we're drawing. If you don't know Alf, you might still be wondering. So inside of this triangle, I'm going to put another one. You can erase the line that cuts across it. I don't want that line there. This line will actually come down into the face. And then on this side, the ear, we would just see part of it. So you can do a slight curve and then bring this forward. I might end up changing the shape of this head just slightly. Down here below the ear, I'm going to put a curved line. I don't want this nose to be so pronounced is what it is. So I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter. There we go. That's a better shape for me. The other looked too much like a dog snout, and this is not a dog. It is a cat. So right here, I'm going to put the actual nose, a little curved line, coming around, coming up a little bit, and then back down. So we get that cat nose. We're just seeing part of the cat nose. We can see part of that lip division right here, and that can come back into this line. So let me erase this a little bit. So see this side comes into the line. This is the front side that you would see. And then down below, you can put a little chin. Just a line coming down and going back. And then I want a paw in here. So I'm going to do a curved line coming around and hanging down. And I'm going to do part of his hand. His hand is going to be holding the cat, but we're not going to see the whole thing. So we're going to see part of his hand right here. We're going to do a little bit of a line. We're going to put a thumb. So we're going to come up slightly, out and around. Now you can connect the back of that cat to the hand. We're going to have a finger coming down. It's just going to be a giant hot dog tip, like a sausage. And then another that goes off of our paper. You can erase the little line that is right here, the thumb line that kind of comes down. I made that thumb too long at first. And then the cat will have another paw off of this side of its face. So you're going to start just below the chin, kind of curve that paw around, matching up to this side. As far as sizing anyway. Bring it back up into the face. And we would have the rest of Alf's body just kind of coming over here. Just a line kind of finishing that off. And this stuff would kind of cover with hair, so you're not going to see the part of his body over here. You would just see this one side. And the cat, you can really kind of color however you like. Make this cat's back a little bit bigger. And one thing I need to do with this cat is I need to finish the cat's body. So we would see cat right here. And we would see cat right here. So I'm just finishing the lines of that cat where it's draped inside of his arms. And then you can color the cat in, you know, however you want. If you want an orange cat, you can do an orange cat. If you want black and white cat, I think the cat in the show was orange, but I'm not totally certain. Some little fur, we'll add some fur lines in. And then, you know, if you are putting this like shirt on him, I would see only some of the lettering. So I'd see the B in Born. He wore Hawaiian shirts a lot in the show. Put the O. Again, I'm going to have his beard kind of covering that some. The R, we would just see part of. And then the N, we would see even less of. We might see a little bit of that letter 2 or the letter T in the word 2. And then we would see just a little bit of the R. There we go, just like that. And that would be our Alf. Now some of these details, again, we're gonna do in pen. So I'll kind of show you what I do here when I'm doing something that I'm really trying to capture some of the fur. I'm gonna get a little bit smaller of a pen as well to do some of the lines, because I won't hard outline everything. I will hard outline a lot of this though. So eyes. I'm gonna have this line right there. So when I was in junior high, Alf was popular. And I used to walk home from school. And there was a Circle K. I think it was a Circle K. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was a 7-Eleven. That was by the house. Or it was on the walk home. It was about halfway home. And my friend Lisa and I would stop every day and buy a pack of Alf trading cards. And at one point I had the whole set. I have no idea what I did with them. I probably sold them in a garage sale. We had a lot of garage sales as a kid, so I'm sure that's where they ended up. So again, with these brows, I'm just kind of doing lines outward, not even necessarily completed zigzags, just kind of fur scribble lines. And I will come in here and color this in. I do want this line of his face because he kind of has the smooth part of his face, and then he has the furry part of his face. So this is part of that smooth part. The ear I'm going to start up above. And I don't think I want all of this ear, so I'm going to leave that off. And just have the hair covering that side of the face. So let's put all this stuff in first, though. And same with the cat. I'm going to do a little bit of a fur technique with the cat. So for those that don't know, Alf was an alien, and he moved in with a family, and he was always trying to eat the cat. So he was really wanting to eat the cat. The cat was not necessarily his friend. So there's some humor kind of in this. He never did eat the cat. But that was kind of part of the running joke in the show, was him wanting to just devour this cat. And if I remember right, maybe that's what they, I don't know, maybe that's what they ate on the planet he was from. It was so long ago, and it's never anything I've rewatched. So I don't remember all of those details. I just remember certain things about it. There's certain shows I've never tried to rewatch because I've always been afraid that they'd just be so horribly cheesy, I wouldn't even be entertained by them. And as I got older, I developed, well, it really actually started in my very early 20s. At about 20, 21, I stopped being able to watch shows that had track laughter. It really, really annoys me, so I can't get past it enough to enjoy them. So some shows I don't go back and watch because of that reason. I'm going to do some little lashes there. It's my one weird, I don't know, tick, I guess. Well, it's not a tick, but just a weird, it drives me crazy. I'm going to keep this part of the face pretty smooth. I'm going to do some of those cat whisker dots, cat freckles. I'll do the actual whiskers with the smaller pen. I'm going to do this little line here. So here I'm seeing the inside of the line, here I'm seeing the outside of the line. Or, sorry, inside of the ear, outside of the ear. I don't know why I said line. Now, I'm going to just do some of this fur line in this big pen. And I want this hair to look like it's folding over. So see how I'm doing curvy lines that come around, and then I'll have some that go up So it's almost ends up like a crashing wave. Actually, I can pretty much do all of his, just the shape of those fur lines in this thicker pen. You don't have to have one that's thinner. Get some hairs flipping out here. Flipping out over here. This, because it's a t-shirt, would be smooth. And then we'll have some furry arm. And now, let's see, I'm gonna just keep going in this. So I want the cat to be a little furry. So I'm just doing line, 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 line. See that? I'll zoom in on that too. See how you do that? And then that gives you a furry edge. So instead of that straight, smooth edge, the cat now has that furry edge within. Let's do it down the face. Line, 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 line. Again, you're just kind of lightly sweeping. You'll see it more so too when we erase that pencil. Because right now some of that pencil is hiding behind it. Let's do little paws, paw lines. This part would be Alf's arm. I want this to be a little bit tighter in. And then I'm going to do the same thing with him. In with his thumb. And that hand. And let's do this little furry bits. There we go. Now I will take my very fine pen and do the whiskers, because I like whiskers to look very faint. I hate it in drawings when whiskers are just these really, really harsh lines, because that's not typically how whiskers really look. So now you'll really see, once I erase all this pencil, how we ended up with a lot of open space. You know, I didn't do the line of the head. I left that out. You'll see within the beard, because essentially I'm going to color that in, right? So I don't need to I don't want to do any solid outline, and I don't need to do a bunch of pen, because I'm going to really kind of build the shape with the pencil, like the colored pencil. Let's get this. Got my faint middle of the nose line. All of these lines in the cat. And you'll get to see how light those whiskers are now. I'm gonna rip this out. So I'm posting this video early on a Saturday. I don't know, you know, some of you will probably draw it in the evening. Maybe some of you are going to draw it on Sunday. And you'll already know this, because I will have said it in the posting that I do, but our contest, or I don't know if it's considered a contest, but if you rock some 80s, it can be anything. 80s glasses that look like 80s, maybe you have a shirt that just screams the 80s. If you rock some 80s attire and post a picture with your drawing or even just yourself in your 80s attire, as long as it's from today, from Saturday or Sunday, when I get back on Sunday, I will pick a winner. So we can still have kind of some sip and draw fun, since we can't do our normal trivia. It would have been fun to do some Alf trivia. Okay, now let's get a black pencil. This is always the hunt for the black. There it is, hiding down there. I'm going to do his shirt in a color though, even though my hand puppet was a black shirt. I'm going to do it in a color instead. So I'm going to start with, let's start with the eyebrows. And the good thing about this style is I'm not too worried about lines here. You know, I'm just scribbling in these bushy eyebrows, and I want some white space, and it's okay if I see some of the original pen line, because that just ends up looking like some of the finer hairs on the eyebrows. There we go. Bushy eyebrows achieved. Now I need to do the nostrils. Black. Remember, when you're doing black, even with the pencil, when you're doing something, you know, that's saturated, always blow, because whatever little dust you're seeing on the page, it's color. So if you wipe it, you're going to get smudge lines. Let me turn this a bit. Turn this a bit. Putting him completely upside down to color him. I wonder if any of the networks show Alf. I never see reruns or anything on TV. I don't think I've ever seen it advertised. Never noticed it on Netflix or anything, but I've never looked for it. But you know, sometimes you'll just see them on there. Go ahead and start this side since I'm already upside down. Do as much of it upside down. Hopefully you guys are all having a lovely Saturday. I wasn't sure if where I was going would have... I actually, to be honest, on Saturday, I don't even know where I'll be. So I didn't know if I would have Wi-Fi or internet or anything, because I'll be, I could be in a campground. I don't really know. We're kind of just going on a magical adventure. Camping. We're staying in a cabin, just my husband and son and I, going up into Oregon. Again, just kind of getting away. Our last little summer hurrah before we start all the prep for school. Here we go. Oh, he looks more and more like Alf now. And then the inside of this mouth would be black. I might even keep this t-shirt white and color the letters in instead. Because sometimes, you know, it's like, if it's not live and you're not interacting with me, there comes a point that you're just watching a grown woman color. Which I don't know. Maybe it's there's something soothing about it, but all right. And everything else in him will be brown, shades of brown. I'm going to do a couple different shades. I need my little... I'm going to do the letters yellow because I like yellow. Adds a nice pop of color too into the drawing since Alf is mostly just brown and black. But maybe you did a different version too. You may have put him in one of his Hawaiian shirts. Or you could have also just left him in the buff. Naked Alf. But I don't know. There's the argument of, are they really naked? Are our dogs naked? When you're covered in fur. There's a lot of that debate in Disney, right? Because you have characters that wear shirts and no pants. Characters that wear pants and no shirts. It all depends on the character and how the artist wanted to depict them. Sharpen my pencil. That should definitely be a drinking moment for you. It's every time I go to sharpen my pencil. I feel like it happens a lot these days. Looks like next week we, for our Sip and Draw anyway, looks like we probably have a sponsor. There'll be more details coming out about that, but an opportunity to help out a local business. Get yourself something to drink during the drawing. I think it's going to be a cider company, which will be awesome. Because we've done beer and wine. It's time for something different. So stay tuned for information on that. Hopefully we'll have that up Sunday or Monday. So you know how to place your orders. do a little peachy cat nose. And I'm going to make the inside of this ear that same peachy color. And then I'm going to do my cat some various shades of orange. So you'll notice that I'm just kind of scribble coloring a bit. Because I'm going to do multiple shades in here. Orange down to the nose. Have some, cat's gonna have some white in it. And same when you're coloring, you can just kind of color roughly along the edge. You're not looking to really like stay in the line perfectly. Orange in the body. Let's do one down the paws, but I want white paws. So there we go. There's a little bit of that orange. Now I'm going to come in with one a little darker. And I can leave some white too. I don't have to do a solid, you know, especially since I'm doing some of the cats, the face white and the paws white. I can do some of it white. Oh, there goes my pencil. And I'm even gonna get a little yellow and come in. And then you could also take, you know, either your blender pencil or a white pencil and just kind of blend some of those edges out, blend some of that white space. For my cat. Now for Alf, I need some light brown and kind of some darker brown. Terracotta. Let's start with this. So I'm going to do the outside edge of the ear. I need need a color that's a little bit lighter than this and a little bit more red. He has kind of a reddish look to him, or copper is more like it. Not really red. But I can use some of this, like when I'm doing the nose, I want to actually kind of shadow a little bit on the top here and on the top here and a little here in the eyes. I'll add a little bit more of this once I find the other color I want to use. That one is not quite it. Terracotta, let's see this one. Which is broken, I can tell. Yes, this is the color. So let me break it out and resharpen it. This is the color I want to use for Alf. Give that coppery brown. So I'm going to put this color on the inside of his ears. I'm going to do his face in it. And then we'll kind of layer a couple different colors within his fur. I'm even going to put this over the outside of the ear that I did, which this is also maybe what we're going to do with the hair, is this color plus the other color. So it gives a little bit of a darker appearance, but also a contrasting shade, a little different shade versus just sometimes, you know, when I color, I'll do the same pencil but push a little harder. That's actually, it just kind of is achieving a new shade. Bring it in here, and I'm going to I definitely am going to come in and kind of darken up that shading I did. Oh, I just went into his eye. Thankfully, since I'm working in pencil, I can fix that. I forgot that little tiny corner of the eye was colored. This color is called burnt oak. Is it ochre? You can't answer me, so I don't know why I'm asking you. Maybe it just makes me feel better to think that there's people here. I'm so used to drawing for people. You know, I kind of do, well, since I've changed my schedule, Fridays we do the pre-recorded. And you might be, you might see that sometimes I'm going to switch that up and I'll just come on live and do it because I don't enjoy it as much. I don't enjoy just drawing all the time. I mean, not saying all the time, but I don't enjoy the drawing as much when I'm doing it and it's not live, even though it's not like we're sitting and like chatting constantly. There's just something I like about the fact that when it's over, I start seeing drawings come in. I don't know, I guess just the whole point of this group was to find an activity to do and to be part of a group and not be alone. And so when I'm drawing and I'm doing these pre-recorded ones, it's nice sometimes because, you know, like this weekend I'm going out of town and I won't be able to draw with you, so I can at least not let you down and give you a drawing still. But yeah, I don't have as much fun when I'm just drawing by myself. You know, I like the trivia. I like all that. Okay. Now, I'm going to fix this little eye smidge I did in here. It's going to erase a big portion, and then I'm just going to color it back in. That's the only way I can kind of get to that corner. And I dropped my pencil. And now I'll come back in and color this. And I'm just going to start laying some of this color in. Just with lines, not solidly coloring, because I'm going to layer those two colors. Little wispies here. Keeping this wave direction that comes over, and then the one that comes down, so I achieve that wave look. And put some darker lines of the same exact color in here. Okay, that's looking good. Now his hair in his body, it's not quite as hairy, so I'm just going to kind of lay this color in, and then I'm going to just do some of that dash effect. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. Let's lay this color on the hands. That dashing effect, I don't know what else to call it. It'll give you a furry look too. We've done it for Bigfoot. Don't have to get too hung up on any directional changes that might be showing. Like we can see I went up and down, now I'm going side to side, and you can see that in the color, how it's switching up. But once I do layering on top of it, we're gonna lose some of that. So you'll notice in just a moment. Let me sharpen this a little bit. Everybody take another drink. So I'm just going to say, this pencil. You see, I'm just quickly dashing that color right over the top of what I've already done, and it gives me a furry look. I'll do the same thing here. Now, when you do these dashes, you want to go the direction that the fur should be, right? So this hand, the fur would be like this. It'd be coming down from the arm, and then it'd be going this way. So you want to stick with the direction. Don't go up and down. Go the direction that you would imagine the hair is growing in. And, you know, you can do bigger dashes, smaller dashes. You're just kind of layering a bunch of them in. Now this one would come down, and then they're going to kind of curve, because he's got the arm crooked to hold on to his prized possession, cat. Oh. pencil, you failed me. Or my pencil just wants you ever tall to take another beverage sip. There's no real like right or wrong way to do this. You can't do it really too much. I mean, I guess you could, and then it would just all be colored in. But see, now he looks furry, and the cat looks furry. The cat has all these dashed edges. And then we'll come in with another color. It's a little darker. It's the one we originally used on the ear. Come up and then do that swoop, 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 swoop. Now, sometimes I do like to color a little bit more solid towards the edges of the face and then bring it out, because we'd see more density of the hair here, right? We'd see more dense and then it kind of thins out. So I don't want empty white space near the skin, but down in here it's okay, because the fur would be more dense up against the body. Same thing, kind of color that in around the mouth. And then bring these dark. And I'm going to bring this color in here again. Just kind of shade up above the eyes. Shave down below. Shade, not shave. Down below. And then do some along that nose. It's just giving some depth. And you could definitely come in with a blender pencil in here and just kind of blend that shaded area in, blend out some of the white that you have showing in through the brown. Come around this edge. I'll shade a little bit between the eyes. Kind of like how those two colors layer together. I'm not sure how much it's showing up on the camera, but gonna do it along the cheeks. Shading is something that I didn't do a lot of at first when I first started drawing, and you just kind of have to play with it. You just kind of have to start layering and laying some extra colors down, and you just kind of get a feel for it, kind of where it should be. And I still don't do it perfectly, but kind of get some, you know, if I want this to look a little bit more inside the ear, I can lay it a little darker right there. See, and now it looks more like the ear sinks in. It's pretty good. And again, if I really want it to like really blend better, then I'm going to come in with that colorless and blend that in and up, and You can see the difference there to there. Let me show you that closer. Blended, not blended. I like doing drawings too when I haven't shown you the drawing. I mean, this is the first time I drew it, so I've never drawn Alf before, actually, period. This is my first Alf drawing ever. But what I do notice is, you know, I'll get, if I've pre-drawn it, then I kind of know the pattern that I'm doing. I know which shapes I'm layering because I've already done it once, but when I'm not pre-drawing, if I'm just going for it, you know, you'll definitely hear me get a little bit more like, oh, no, wait, I'm going to erase this line. That didn't work out because I didn't get a trial run. You're getting the first go round of it. And see, I have a lot of empty white space in here, but look at how that blender will just blend that in. It's even blending a little bit of the eyebrow in up there, and I don't mind it because it just shadows, which it would do. This. I'm gonna add a little bit more color up in there. I have a couple little, I keep thinking I have too much white, and then I keep blending and it kind of fixes it. I'm not gonna blend all the way down into the end. I do really want some of that white showing down towards the ends of the beard. Where it should be thinner. So I'll kind of blend in and then stop just shy of the ends. Look at how much better that looks. Oh. Life-changing colorless blenders. I mean, I don't know if it changes my whole life, but you know, my drawing life. Now, you can do it in here too, but I wouldn't do it as heavily because you want to see those fur lines. So I would do it just enough to blend out some of the white, but not enough. I'm pushing a lot lighter because I don't want to do it so much that I lose those dashes I made. You could push hard enough and literally almost take them all out. And I don't want that because I like that like fur look. And I'm gonna add some of that brown that we did in the face in here too. So I do have one more color to layer in. A little smidge. So it's this one right here, this light brown. And same thing, just adding some dashes of that. Even though it's called light brown, it's a darker brown than those coppery caramel colored ones. Curves around the cat. There we go. I like that. Like that. Let's do some of it over here. down in the shirt. I don't want all that white. So I'm going to come in with a blue. And again, I probably will do a little bit of blender here too, because I'm switching directions already. And you can put a little bit of that blue up into the beard because you would see it through his beard. Yeah, I like it better with the shirt colored in. Had too much white. Maybe if you had colored the background or something in, then it would be fine, but and let's get that colorless blender again. I'm going to sharpen it a little bit, take off some of that brown that was on there. Always remember to clean your blender, because if you don't, you're going to end up with, you know, the color that you had before. Yeah, I am just fighting these guys tonight. Cheers. This drawing would probably be maybe 20 minutes less if I wasn't sharpening pencils. I want to be careful when I'm doing this blender too that I'm not pulling from the yellow letters. So I really need to stay inside the lines. Same within the beard, kind of not pulling that beard color down into it. I'm getting it a little bit, but this blue also isn't blending as well for me as some of the others. Some of the lighter colors don't. You almost have to color them darker in order to really get that good blend. But it is a little bit, just enough. And there we go. It's Alf. I'm pretty pleased with it. You could definitely write Alf up on the top of the page. You know, you could add in whatever you like to your drawing. Maybe you put more of a background. Maybe you have, I don't know. Did we ever see Alf's spaceship? That's the thing I don't remember. So this was super fun. It was very nostalgic for me. especially for this particular drawing, because Alf, again, was always somebody that I loved. So I look forward to seeing your drawings. Don't forget, if you are in some sort of 80s attire, you get some bonus points and entered into a little contest. I basically each week always give away the drawing that I did that night. So if you are the winner, if I pick you, I like your 80s get up, you could win Alf. So thank you very much. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you had a great Saturday. If you're drawing this on Saturday, I will be back live drawing on Monday. Don't forget to share your pictures with me, and don't forget to always sign your art. And happy drawing. Thanks, guys.